So like to those that can upskill, that's amazing for them. But to those who can't, you know, like people will hear that and be like, oh, I'm not in the financial position to upskill. Do you really think you need that Netflix account if you're struggling to put food on the table?
So I sort of bought my car for the very reason to take the boys out. I got a big fucking 5-seater, heaps of space, and yeah, I've let that go now. And
he told us like 10 years ago, I kid you not, like almost 10 years ago when he was selling the car. that thing's still outside. And then one of my kids had the nerve to say to me, like, so that's wild that you wore a pink shirt, but you're the meanest bully. Wow.
That's good that your kids are calling you out. Because you are. He goes, bro, you need to hit the treadmill. Like, and then I took it to her in front of everyone, and he has like one of those things that come out, you know, that grows out of here. I told him in front of everyone, okay, don't make me push that in and reset your key. And like we had a full-on argument with this little kid.
Whose bright idea was it to shoot at 6:30 in the morning? I'm lucky these mornings though, boys.
Win the day, win the morning.
Win the day, win the morning.
Win the morning.
Okay, just quickly, by show of hands, who made it to the gym this week? Hold up. For Exia.
Aaron, are you sure you went to the gym? I did. You know, every time I ask Aaron if he's gone to the gym.
I went to the gym in my sleep. It's quite.
Actually, you made it twice.
That's so
Like
cool.
that.
Oh, actually 4 times.
But you only posted twice.
Yeah, because you know.
Humble game.
Oh, did you see Aaron at the gym by any chance?
No. What gym? Nah, he goes to. Do you go to Avondale?
No, I go next gym.
You know, so I'll get to work and ask Aaron if he's gone to the gym, and he reckons he's going to Avondale one. So I'm like, oh bro, you go gym this morning? He's like, yeah bro, I went to the Avondale one. I was like, oh yep. In Bo's video, it was him by himself.
Oh, literally. Fuck. Man, I hate going to the gym.
That's good for you, brother.
Not because I like don't want to do anything, but just looking around like, wow, people are just. Nah,
Aaron's a mean king. Aaron's got mean bodies.
Nah, hey, you
On
gotta
your
start
own
somewhere.
journey, brother.
You gotta start
On your own
somewhere.
journey.
Love it. Speaking of starting, episode numero uno, dos. Uno, dos.
Number what?
Boys, it is good to be back as always.
As
Lovely
always.
to share the couch, if you will, with you boys. Just like as we're talking, obviously trying to take care of ourselves physically this week.
Barely.
So shout out, yeah, barely. Look, I'll be honest, I didn't make it to the gym.
It's always next week, bro.
Yeah, nah, but it kind of got me thinking. You know what? My body doesn't work the same way it used to. You know, like I wake up in the mornings, just a little, you know, maybe a sore back here.
Well, you're almost 40.
Ankles aren't clicking quite right when I'm walking. And I was thinking, man, do you remember? It doesn't even feel like that longer. Like I feel like I could back-to-back nights with you guys, like
Yeah.
all nighters, and then still go about my day and be like pretty solid, pretty sweet. And then over time, obviously, we had to learn to let go of those things because you know the body can't handle it, the mind,
Right.
the marriage it doesn't work in marriage.
Doesn't work.
Which led me to this, like, what's something we've had to let go of as we've gotten older and as we've matured. So I know mine straight away is like those 2-3 night a week benders that we used to do. Yeah, like I cannot think of anything worse currently in my life that I would want to do. Going to town.
And I can't believe we used to think that was like cool.
Going clubbing.
That was fun.
Oh my gosh, I can't think of anything worse on a Friday night than to be out in town.
We
Right.
can't even, not even like forget the clubbing part. We can't even hang out like or catch up 2 to 3 nights back to back. Like we've fully gone once a week, twice if you're.
But
This
twice
way.
is like, man.
But
high fives, high fives around if we see each other.
Twice is
a
a
week.
stretch.
Like
Like,
doing this podcast is like, I'll catch up really.
But that was like, you know
But
what I
that
mean?
was-
Is that we would like we'd see each other almost every day
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
so it was like, yes, we'll hang out, we'll go do the thing, we'll go out. But then it was like in the morning, basketball, you know.
Yeah,
Then you're like,
true,
oh,
true.
silly, should we go movies? It was like, okay, shoot pool, you know, and anything to not go back home to your realities.
It literally was, It literally was.
But like, you know, now I look back, I'm like, bro, I don't know if I have the energy to do two of those things in the
Right.
same day.
So true.
I remember like vividly like getting dropped off by Paul probably like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Then he'll pick us back up at 10 in the morning. We'll go watch someone's rugby game,
Mm.
go get a feed, home for like another 2 hours, sleep, change, go out. It's like, bro, that is like huge amount of effort.
Just to organize that is like, it's just,
And
it's too much.
yeah, and so that's my thing. I'm like, I'm glad I let go of that.
Mm.
And I think you have to too as you get older, because obviously priorities change. Bowl 6 kids deep, you know? Aaron 1 on the way,
Mina too.
Mina 2 that we don't know about. Like,
Nah, yeah, that's crazy. Because I've copped a lot of heat this week just based on something that's I've been told by my wife, and also especially my mum or my mother, like that I needed to let go. Or just like, you're too old and you're in a position now where you can't be doing that.
yeah.
And that was getting a breastfeed. like, you know, and but this was my excuse. I was like, you know, to really engage our young people,
Shut your mouth.
you have to kind of, you know, you have to break down the wall. That's it.
And the
That's
19-year-old is
Yeah.
happening.
that's it. That's
Get
it. I
yourself a
got
comb over and move on.
what if you didn't have hair to do a comb over?
Bro, I'm on my way there.
Nah, but yeah, I got told this week that I needed to kind of cut my hair like your age and be sensible, and no more kind of hair like waving at the back of your head. So
like the time Mina turned up with a mullet, but he was like 28.
the one that didn't fade properly, it just kind of like just,
Hey, shut up, Mina's on the mic too. Mina,
shout out Matua.
Yeah,
Matzo,
we-
anything from you? What have you learned to let go? Actually, he's probably done the biggest 180 out of all of us, eh? Imagine, bro, Mina, we already know Mina's story.
Yeah,
Mm.
Mina's legendary,
legendary,
epic,
never fold,
never fold.
Yeah.
If Never Fold was a person,
5-day benders. He was,
and like
he wouldn't give up.
hang out with us, and then hang out with other friends.
Yeah.
Like, where's Mina? Out with his other mates. We're like, man,
He really was
Straight
that
from
guy.
me.
Yeah.
straight from prayer
Straight
meeting.
from youth is crazy.
Into a club, into
Oh,
Straight from
Ah.
youth is crazy.
Nah, yeah, I don't know why I'm on the mic tonight. But,
Good
Nah,
to have you
yeah.
on, brother.
I guess mine's sort of similar. I got so I sort of bought my car for the very reason to take the boys out. I got a big fucking 5-seater, heaps of space, and yeah, I've let that go now. And
and now like you
And-
can't think of anything worse. Like, I don't want to drive you around.
exactly,
Remember that one time that you got your car valeted and you said we weren't allowed to come in, but then you took your youth boys out?
Yo, that was funny because he had the whole thing cleaned out, and he was like, nah, you can't drink in here, you can't smoke in here, you can't do anything in here. And then we saw him out with his youth boys.
Wow.
You know what's even worse? He told us like 10 years ago. I kid you not, like almost 10 years ago when he was selling the car. that thing's still outside. That thing is squeaking on the way. Yeah, like sitting in here, and you
did
can
not
hear
sell
like when it drives
I think
past.
we've all gone through like 2 cars, but he's still got
No, but at the time when he first bought it, we were like, bad ride. Like he wanted to be a lawyer or something on his car.
yes. If anyone's looking for a Honda Inspire, 2009,
Shameless
check Mother,
plug.
please.
Shameless plug, eh?
The front passenger seat burnt.
Hey, Kevin.
the bumper's falling off too. But
At one
Open to offers, eh?
Yeah.
stage, there was a full-on kitchen in the back seat.
Nina lives out of his car. That's
Had
the thing.
gas ovens, pots, frying pans, and everything.
Bottles of juice. Just juice. Yeah, nah,
And
shout out to the
Nah,
Hondas
that's how
car,
we
man.
drove, and it had like a whole plant. It had like a massive palm tree in the back of his car. But
It's been
hey,
for a
that
journey,
cuz,
Kia ora.
legendary.
Yeah, we're letting go of that. I like that, Mina.
Still,
Boys,
still
Jeff?
better than Tita.
One thing I'm letting go of is overnight gaming.
Oh, yeah.
When I throughout high school, even after high school, overnight gaming was I was bad with it.
Yeah.
Like,
Didn't you
like-
play like Minecraft or
League
something?
of Legends.
Yes, sir.
Like if you
Every now and then I still jam League of
But
Legends,
he was probably about 24 at this 25 and he bought a gaming laptop.
for it.
I bought a laptop just to play League
Oh
of
my
Legends,
gosh.
but yeah, overnight gaming had to let go of that. I need my beauty sleep, eh?
That's
That's
it.
like what you
just need
always
sleep,
said.
eh?
You just need the sleep.
Weren't you
man.
like top 5 Madden in the country?
you know, just
In
keeping it humble there.
1990. And Madden 12.
At one stage, I was like the top 50 or something in Madden in New Zealand.
So I could have been top 50 because I clapped you when you came into us.
Shut up. But yeah, overnight gaming, no more. Of
And
that.
because you just, like, that is underrated, eh? Sleeping.
Yeah,
Like, you did not appreciate that as a young person, eh?
that's a topic in itself.
'Cause
eh?
you felt
Talk
like-
about the importance of sleep.
You felt like you didn't need to sleep or you didn't want to
It's
sleep.
so
because there's
cliche.
many things to do.
You know, but it's so cliche,
Yeah.
like, you think you're invincible. But, like, you really do think.
There's so many things to do. Like watch TV.
Yeah.
Because we had no phones. There was like literally nothing else to do. You should have just went to sleep.
But yeah, that's mine, boys.
Ezra.
No, mine's probably the same as Chris. Sorry, I didn't have something different. But like, I'm the same too. Like, for me, it has to be something special for me to
Yeah.
pick up a drink. Like, I haven't drank in so long.
I just see
I've
it
got a
was
whole
a-
stash of like, I got an alcohol collection at home that hasn't been touched for a good, I could say, like 2 years now.
Mm.
Like, I've got about 10 hot bottles at home that I'm looking to give away. Nah,
Nah,
no, but yeah, like it takes a lot for me to, like, you know, to even go out and have a drink. Like, because Saps, he asked to come out for a drink 2 weeks ago. I just made up an excuse. Yeah, sorry, I'm all it's.
Shout out to something.
Yeah.
He's still going strong.
Still going.
I mean, they're him and Ants. I'm throwing them under the bus, but him and Ants, you know, they're both single. You know, you know.
Oh, so you think having a partner comes into play?
Oh yeah, well I'm like we're at this. Well, you guys have settled down, but I'm.
Oh, you're still looking at your options?
I don't give you settled down as in married. I'm
right,
ready.
right,
I'm
right.
ready to take that route. I'm
Be
ready to.
careful what you say there.
I should just shut my mouth now.
Leading towards marriage for my guy. So
Yep.
keep it
Hopefully.
in prayer.
We're speaking life into that.
Singing life.
But what changed? Like, what was the thing that changed it for you guys?
Oh, you went from being 20 to almost 40.
Yeah.
Like, age plays a big part.
Is that it? You just, but it's
But
the
this-
thing that you just get older. So now I'm like, you know, you're sitting there at 35. You're like, okay, I should just stay home now.
But we say age plays a big part, but there's still people our age that are still going
Yeah.
hard. So
Yeah.
like something has changed.
It's too expensive.
It's
Yeah.
too
Yeah,
expensive.
true.
I like that. Priorities change.
Mm.
Priorities change as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like your commitments too. Obviously, if you had, you're still coming out when you had kids, but no, but being honest, you know. I'm just saying, you know.
Really throwing the bro under the bus.
I only came out for birthdays and graduations and weddings, you know.
And just every weekend.
Oh man, it's like
No, but
Like
like,
bro under the bus. Eh?
hey,
But is it an age thing? Like, I mean, like, because well, in our prime, like, I honestly thought we would be going till now, like in our 30s, like still going hard. Because like we look at the older generation of like our, you know, the boys,
yeah.
like the like the Fits and all those boys, like they still have their drink up catch ups,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
like,
but
I can't do it right now. Like,
yeah,
I
but
actually
maybe I think like you look at that. That's a 30-year friendship, eh?
can't. Yeah.
And like they would have gone through. I feel like you know these groups will go through the same sort of thing. Like you know, there's a season of where like you know it's a vibe to just go out with your boys and thing, and then there's like a season obviously where
True.
you're now a family man, you're a dad, and
Yeah.
and you have your commitments as a husband. But you still got to find time for you know these relationships.
Yep.
I think it's safe to say that if we didn't do the pod, if we didn't catch up to do this, we would be catching up like every now and then for
Every
probably
month
a
or
drink.
so.
Yeah. And for them, I know there's a need for it, eh?
Mm.
You
Yeah.
just have to kind of see the boys and
Yeah.
kind of release, but also catch up, okay? There's a lot of stuff that we deal with individually kind of takes a toll, so it's always good to reset with
That's it.
some of the boys that you kind of grow up in and some of your closest friends. They're honestly your family as well. So
Yeah.
Hard.
I think, and that's the way I see you all. Like, if we didn't do this, I would be...
Bro, if we didn't do the pod, Mina will still be in quarantine. Have you heard of a 9-month quarantine? Where it's like, Saleh, are you okay? Like, actually, you're right, because...
Damn, Mina took the biggest...
But that actually brings up a good point. Is like we're quite fortunate to have this as something that we do regularly for catch-ups and just see how we are.
But-
because not many people are afforded like this opportunity, right?
Yeah, but like, it's true. Like, you actually need the time. Obviously, like, yes, you have your commitments as,
Yeah.
you know, and the hats that you wear in your own circles and obviously with your partners, your wives, your kids, your own families. But being intentional about making time for this, because you can get caught up in just life, eh?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Life will happen. But if you don't make time for these, you know, a space like this for your mates, you know, to check in on each other, away from your commitments as dads and teachers and whatever it is you do,
Yeah.
doctors.
And you will always make time for things you value.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey. And like, so
100.
like the no time excuse, like, yes, I can understand that there are people who are busy and have busy lives, but if you really value something, you'll make time for it. So
When did you guys realize that, though? That time is one of the most important commodities, you know? Because there's never, like, I feel like as I've gotten older, that
There's
time is
never
the thing
enough.
that I have less of.
Yeah. There's never enough time in a day. But I think I realized when I had kids that
What, you got kids?
they're like you couldn't do, like, you make time only because you have to,
You have
kind of
to,
thing.
yeah.
So if I have something on, I'll catch up with the boys. Like, it's because you have to really go. Okay, or else you're ass staying at home. So I think it's it was the realization when actually when I got a job. Like,
Yeah.
when you had your first full-time job
Oh.
and you realized that you were no longer in school and that you weren't studying,
Stoves is your boss.
that's 8-10 hours of your day gone.
yeah.
Can I ask what's the difference between the jobs that you're currently in and like working for one of the boys like that? Like, what was it as far as your attitude, you know, showing up to work, the effort that you gave? How has it changed, and how did that experience kind
Well, it
of?
doesn't change for Aaron and Jeff because they still work together.
But under a different setting now.
Yeah.
So.
I think working for one of the boys, or if one of the older boys was our boss, like, it was hard work, but the team we had,
Yeah.
and that's probably that's the best thing, is because we worked with Aaron, Rodders, some of it was like the team, the camaraderie,
Yeah.
the banter, and like even though the work was hard and some of the stuff we did, like the team we had, it just made it
vibe,
it
eh?
made it a vibe, and it made it kind of, they made the days go faster, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's like pretty much what got us through that job, because it was like killer work.
Yeah.
But like what I'm like just thinking is like the times that when we work at Carlton, like the stuff that we weren't able to get away with, like calling in sick because we were hungover the night before. Like our boss would, have us on Insta or Facebook and know we were out the night before.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you ever had a boss where you call it sick? You're like, nah, come
we wouldn't get away with it 'cause
But let's touch on that for a second. Like, working with your friends or your family when you apply for leave or when you're sick, that's hard, eh? 'Cause,
Oh yeah.
like, especially if you're going on like a boys' trip somewhere, like, it's hard to take both of you guys to have time off, eh? And that was the struggle that we had at our previous workplaces. Like, only one of us could take leave at one time,
Yeah.
but we were friends outside of work. So I was just like, oh, so what do you do? One person apply for leave, the other call in sick.
Yeah, we went through a phase of that.
But yeah, that's just like, yeah, it's cool working with your friends, but there's also those challenges.
There's
Can you
That's
share
right.
your system? This is the most hilarious thing I've heard of. How if this guy would be off for a week of leave, then this guy gets a week of leave later on, like the following week. That was the funniest thing ever. Like, oh, so then I'll be off for 4 days. All right, Seki, I'll take the next one.
But it's good because you know, like, oh, this guy can cover me.
Yeah,
I'm
hard,
off.
eh?
And then, oh, you've taken a week off. Why can't I take a week off? And then Jeff goes off.
But like,
But in contrast, like thinking about when we worked for Carlton, like, and where I work now, it was like, oh man, the team wasn't there,
Yeah.
and kind of you miss the camaraderie, you miss like
yeah.
bantering
The
and
banter, eh?
yeah, the banter of the boys, the mocks, and so like if you're looking at like comparing where I was or where we worked in to where I am now, it's drastically different. Eh? I'm more of a professional now, kind of thing. Eh? You have to really put on your professional hat and breastfeed, baby. Honestly, I was inspired by one of the other teachers who got a breastfeed. So, but yeah, I'm gonna cut it off.
Gang, gang.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just heard my kid say that, and I was like, what the heck? Do people still say gang,
The
gang?
amount of times we hear that at work on the gang.
Oh,
my
the
life.
What does
gang.
on the gang mean?
Like it's
Just
like
means
it's
like-
like
Like gangs.
honesty to God. Like
yeah,
that's
it's like
that's
they are honest.
That's
But
the
like
honesty, God.
the gang is the thing that we trust. Like, in gang we trust. Well, that's
No,
like,
people, that's not the way to go.
but oh yeah, that's funny. It's just when I heard him say that, it was like that was kind of out of nowhere. Like what the
What
hell?
other things
Gang,
you hear
gang.
at school?
Oh, bro. Like what kids say?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I saw you on YouTube. Did you subscribe, Ken?
Doesn't someone call you a bully this?
Someone called you a bully on
It's pink, you know, it's pink shirt day.
pink shirt.
And
day.
then-
The other week was
Crazy.
Pink Shit Day.
Yeah, the other week.
Yeah. The other week was Pink Shit Day, and then I was, I support the K-popper. And then one of my kids had the nerve to say to me, like, "So that's wild that you wore a pink shirt, but you're the meanest bully." Wow. And someone goes, "Yeah,
wild.
hard." I was like, "Yo,
There's a difference.
that's crazy." Yeah, like.
that's good that your kids are calling you out because you are. A
Well,
bully.
Those guys don't mean us a bully.
No.
Straight up.
No, but no, actually, then we had a nice laugh. It's like, get back to class. No, well, like it's funny. Yeah, you just have different relationships of, like yes, as a teacher, you work on relationships, a big part of your practice and part of your pedagogy.
Your
but
pedagogy.
the relationships that you have with like your own kids, the Hummels, the Tongans, are next level. Like, like they'll mock me and I'm like a little bit hurt, but like I'm cracking up, like stuff that other kids would never say to you or never do.
Yeah.
But do you realize that you're from an era or a generation where you don't want that smoke?
Yeah,
Because but it's because we hold our tongue and stuff.
hard.
But like these
Like-
kids, yeah.
I had one of like that's the other funny part. Like my wife will tell you too. Like the kids are just doing cheeky stuff. Like just walk past and like, oh, tap your tummy. Like, oh, sir.
Wait,
sir.
what?
That should be motivation.
Yeah.
brother.
That's a violation of good
Like,
conduct.
Sully, don't make me tell him your reading age.
Tell it that's. Could you imagine?
Make me.
Could you imagine?
Sorry, sir.
But could you imagine a student like coming for you, and then you just say out loud their dad's name,
yeah.
like how you used to back in the day? Like,
Oh, bro. I had it was like a couple of weeks ago. I had a run-in with one of the kids at work, and I'm like, it was like almost embarrassing because like we were doing like setting up food parcels,
yeah.
and like he was just mouthing off, and I just told him to like shut it, and he goes, bro, you need to hit the treadmill, like, and then I took it to heart in front of everyone, and he has like one of those things that come out, that goes out of your ear. What is it like?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
that-
And
oh,
I told him in front of everyone, I go, don't make me push that in and reset your key. And like we had a full on argument with this little kid. And I was like, oh yeah, I took it personally.
Do you realize the imbalance of your
But it's so hard to
Right.
know what these kids
Like-
say get to you, eh?
yes,
So
like
hard, man.
wear it, eh?
Yeah,
thick
hard.
skin. Like you just have to, like one of the kids I told. Oh, one of the kids. Oh, I told him off for wagging, and then when I walked out, I was like, "Fuck." Huh? And then like I was sitting around, like, what? And then I just let it go because I could have easily said, "No, does that make me?"
Yeah.
But I've just learned, hey, you just have to wear it because
But that's
you
the thing
do
of
not,
being- But-
do not want to
yeah.
give in because at the end of the day, you hold that kind
Yeah.
of.
because you're the adult.
Yeah,
Like,
you're the
know?
adult.
You're
You
the
can't
adult.
like. It's not when you were in school, like, oh yeah, let's go. Then like,
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah,
go back
yeah.
and forth. Nah, because you're the adult. You did the imbalance of mana and authority. Eh? E.
But what about the
But you can
reset?
still
But it's
catch
a-
on.
Not the reset, but it's a medical condition.
Sad, and you know at this day and age, you're getting cancelled, bro. You can't do that to kids.
Nah, I've learned to not sort of entertain like these kids, like
yeah.
because like one of my other kids that I had, like he always tries to like pretend spar with me,
Yeah, yeah.
and then I entertained her, and I was like, yeah, let's muck around spar, and then
Did
like
you
ever
s-
since then he's
you push his
thinking he
ear
can come
and
yeah,
reset
yeah, yeah. Ever since then he thinks he can like talk to me in a different way, and
Well, because kids then, kids
Mm.
will look at you and the example that you set and think that whatever
That's-
you allow
yeah.
is okay.
Yeah,
And
right,
so
sure.
if you allow that, they're
Yeah.
thinking, oh yeah, you're my friend. Like I
Yeah.
can do this
Yeah.
with my friends,
Yeah.
And
And
so
it's
like
the-
being really clear with your boundaries is like a
It's
huge
the standard, and the boundary that you set at the start. Because if you get it wrong at the start or at any point
Yeah.
in your relationship with the young people, they like build on it. And
Yeah,
it
there's-
only gets worse.
There's
And how-
definitely a fine line that you
Mm.
walk, because you want to be their friend, but you also got to understand that, like, you're also kind of like their mentor, and that, there should be, like what you're saying, that there should be boundaries put in place. But yeah, it's still like trying to, walk that fine line. It's like how to balance that out.
yeah.
That's so like
Yeah.
so hard to do when a kid would like snap back at you and you're like, boy, I will go to like
Yeah.
you don't want to start the mocks with me because
Yeah.
but at the same time you're like, oh my gosh, because I'm 26. I'm like, I'm 26.
Go birdie.
Like I'm 30 years old and I'm arguing with this little.
You just got to remind yourself sometimes.
You're
like,
an adult.
there's literally a 13,
But also-
14
It's
year
so
old.
hard.
Yeah, it is.
But also, there's a difference between building a relationship and a friendship. Like, like you gotta
Yeah.
build a relationship. You want to kind of have a good relationship with these
Right.
kids, but you also like we're actually not friends. That
Yeah.
I
Right.
have friends outside of this place that I kind
Oh,
of call my friends. And
yeah.
we-
I think like the other thing to that is like, the difference between like there's kids who just say things to get on your nerves, and then there's kids just being kids.
yeah, yeah.
Like I was just thinking about like my little nephew. Like my brother's talking to him like, "How are you?" They're talking, and he's like, "Your breath stinks." Poo, uncle, your breath stinks. Like, have you guys ever had those moments where like
Man.
little kids and their
Yeah.
honesty is brutal?
I
Like,
have that all the time.
they
man.
just like, "Poo, your breath stinks, uncle." Like,
You know what's
what the hell?
you know what's even worse? Ari, my little one Ari, she's clapped back now.
Yeah.
And I think it's my fault because I've kind of like
Because that was you when you were a kid.
No, and then
You
I
answer back
banter
to your
in
wife?
front of,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
when we banter, she picks someone now. I was
Oh,
like,
no.
yeah. And so when like I tell her to do stuff, it's like she'll clap back the same way. And it's like, oh.
Oh.
And she says some of the funniest stuff, man, honestly.
Yeah,
Like she the other day we were doing doing ABC and she goes H for hippo. And it was like that and I always banter and I'm like what I cracked up like she goes H for hippo and then like and I was like that's an Aaron and flipping Chris thing but but she said it and I was like huh
Did it hurt more because she said it?
Nah, I laughed. I actually like made Danielle cracked up. Oh, sorry, Danielle and I laughed.
Yeah.
And we realized, hey, that these kids pick up, and then they'll you.
Oh
like,
man.
But then we figure out they're just kids.
They
Yeah.
just,
I
but they
miss those
pick up. Hey, they pick up what you say. Like we're in when just recently we were overseas with my nephew, and I was pushing him on the stroller, the pram for pushing him, and we got to stairs. Obviously, I was like, you get off at the stairs, and I'll carry it, and then you jump back on. And so we've done the system everywhere we went when we were in China. Get to stairs, get off. Then he started he would wait right till I got to the stairs, then get off, and I'd be like, it's like, "Alright, Sully, get off!" Well, hurry up, Sully. So I started saying that to him, and then one time I was like, "Hurry up, Sully!" And I was walking up the stairs, and he ran up. He was like, "Hurry up, Sully! I'll give you the beats right now." He was like, "Hurry up, Sully!" Waiting for me at the top of the stairs. I was like,
I feel like the kids are getting way more cheekier, right?
He's so cheeky. I couldn't
so
help but
cheeky
laugh.
now.
I just cracked up. Hurry up, Sully!
But us laughing is kind of encourages
Yeah,
it more.
encourages
Right?
Yeah, it does.
It does.
But I didn't mind of Ari because, I wanted to grow thick skin and I wanted to have a clapback game because of being Ari. She has to.
It's just when she uses it on you.
And you're
"Oh."
like, bro, gotta relax. Yeah.
I'm your parent now. You gotta know those boundaries. But that's kind of cool.
Sweet. We're gonna segue into we're gonna segue into something. So last week we kind of our topic for today. Last week we discussed Mina's ring. Mina's ring that he gave Aaron, and then Chris came up, or Chris said something that was really important. He said the $60 is no longer, does not hold the same value as it did 5 years ago, kind of thing. And so we're going to look at inflation and kind of the stress that it has on our finances right now.
Right.
Okay, so we are, well, they say, quote unquote, we're in a recession. And kind of things are tough at the moment. Let's just outline things are tough. Inflation.
Breach.
Actually, inflation's not as bad as post-COVID. So it went up a little bit and then came back
What's it
down.
sitting at?
6 point something. Okay, we know it came from 7 point. Okay, so it's not too high, and inflation for everyone is the kind of, it's measured by was it measured by CPI? Or Consumer Price Index. So it's and PPI, the Producer Price Index. So it measures the kind of the money or kind of the cost of things.
Right.
So and the value of your dollar or your money. What are some of the stresses that we're finding with our finances just based on the climate that we're in? Because it's been tough.
Yeah.
Can I just put a disclaimer out there? This is not financial advice.
Yeah, this is just us coming together to share the struggle.
Financial advice from us.
Yeah. This is just to come together and kind of and share in the struggle.
Well, because people
finding.
talk about it, and people talk about the struggle of the cost of living is real, But I feel like depending on your circumstance and your situation. Some people will obviously feel it more than others. I'm feeling it's hard and things are expensive, but I'm married with no kids.
Right.
Yeah. I feel it more than Chris would.
Yeah, you imagine the families with 2-3 kids,
Right.
young families, especially solo parents.
Right.
Those kinds of families, they must be really feeling it. Not saying that we don't, we do, but my heart goes out to him because my wife and I were still comfortable enough that it's not a dire situation,
Right.
But I feel like working in or being in the line of work that I'm in and seeing some of the families and how they're impacted, man, that's really gut wrenching.
And that'll be the same for Chris, for Aaron and Jeff as well.
Yeah.
Just so, and it's the everyday struggle.
Right.
Or not even. It might not be a struggle. It's just things that we didn't have to do pre-COVID.
Yep.
And kind of filling up gas is what are we at now? $2.70 something.
Yeah.
$3 if you go to BP and
Remember when $2 was expensive?
$2 was was kind of on the expense, like the dairy and day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You were still on your P's back then, eh?
so they call it in Australia.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of in a like so Jeff and I, we get paid fortnightly. That's probably you guys as well, eh? And
Yeah.
like for me, I don't really notice like what I lose is the same sort of every 2 weeks. So I don't know if I'm not saving
Yeah.
and I'm not losing, or
Right.
I'm losing the same amount every sort of 2 weeks. So yeah, like I don't know, like what is probably helps too that for my own like sanity, I don't check my account, so so I'm not losing that much. But like for us, like we, our cars are now free through work. Petrol's free for us.
Work perks.
Yeah, I don't like
You guys have barbecues every day?
have a work credit card. But like from I don't know, like I won't say that I'm struggling at the moment.
Yeah.
And I won't say that I'm sort of like gaining like
Right.
at the moment
Well,
as well. But
maybe Jeff could speak to like, because in your situation, you guys recently just purchased.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what's
yeah.
that struggle, or like how has that impacted you guys? And
Yeah. So it's funny because before we purchased our home, we lived in a state house.
Mhm.
So we lived in a Housing New Zealand house where rent was about $300 a week, and there were 5 of us all working.
yeah,
So $300 rent a week was very affordable, like very affordable. And then we decided, we outgrew that home, obviously, and more people needed it than us. So we purchased our home.
I like that.
And it's, we've felt there's been a major difference.
Yeah.
When you go from renting to owning your own home, you got to think about the costs that come with the home. Your water, your power,
yeah, utilities.
the utilities, but also the insurances that come with
That
it
come
too.
with it, yeah.
So I think it's been quite hard in terms of just like probably just my own finances. Like as a collective, it's all good because my family and I, we all put in for the house,
Yeah.
so we don't feel the pinch as much. But as an individual, my wife and I, so my wife's still studying, so she's not working full time right now. So right now I'm kind of holding down the finances.
Yeah.
But that's all good because I know it's a short-term sacrifice
Yeah.
for long-term
Yeah,
gain.
Long-term gain,
long-term
even though you
gain.
complain about it.
Even though I do.
Damn.
Shout out Teresa, go get that paper. Shout
out,
do your
Tree.
thing, girl.
But I know that once she does graduate, becomes a nurse, that it's gonna all pay off. But right now I do feel the pinch. Just being the solo income,
Yeah.
owning your own home, and then just the stuff that comes with it too, like your phone bills and gym payments.
Wi-Fi.
stuff
Things that like
that.
now I look at my gym payment, I'm like every fortnight, like, is that worth it? Shout out City Fitness for like $12, but
You're
like,
keeping the lights on.
yeah,
instead of
it's
fitness.
like, is that really
Yeah.
worth it?
Yeah. In terms of home ownership, that kind of, especially if you're Pacific, grow up in big families, kind of be the way to go. That
Yeah.
collective buying or collective home ownership. But that's as parents, we've definitely felt it's not even a pinch, it's a punch at this moment.
Right.
At this point, it's the punch that we kind of didn't see coming. But it's also like simple things like buying lunches have it's gone from if we do a week shopping, it's gone from something like 200 just on lunches for 3 kids at school to about like north of 300.
Right.
And that's just their lunches. That's got nothing to do with like school fees and stuff. So it's expensive.
Yeah.
And so that's why I said like, man, inflation like didn't really hit. And then like you realize and like we've been Danielle was off work for a long time, and she's finally finally, but she's
wow.
I say
she's
looking
wow.
after your
Raising
kids.
your kids. Oh, wow.
I say finally because she was like dying to get back to work,
Yep.
and kind of was really keen to get back
Yep.
and work, not because of finances, just because like she wanted to do something and kind
Yeah,
of
for
and
herself,
so
eh?
for herself, and so with and her being back at work, we've kind of kind of managing the finances a little bit better. But yeah,
But
it's
how's
just-
that for a wake up call, eh?
Yeah,
Like going back to say, like when I was talking earlier about things you need to let go, like those things, this
This
our
is
current
what we
living
never-
situation
Yeah.
will like
yeah.
sober you very quickly. Like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's where our priorities are at. Like,
Yeah.
okay, keeping the
And
bell on.
that's the kind of that's what we didn't see as 20-year-olds,
Mm.
and that's what we
Hard
didn't
out.
really plan for. And but I enjoy it because this is the when your parents are like we struggled and
Yeah.
this is we're kind of getting that
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful struggle because families are together and
Mhm.
we're
Yeah.
always and we're finally working for our family kind of thing.
Mhm.
The same way our parents, the difference is kind of we are afforded more kind
Yeah.
of opportunity.
Oh yeah.
And we didn't have the not the
Mm.
struggle, but that we did as kids. So it's good. It's good for us, and it's a positive. But I want to look at budgeting,
Mm.
just for today. Like, let's say
Budgeting.
budgeting.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Foreign
word.
I
Is
honestly
that a guy that
like-
I've met before?
yeah. Then I was probably like our finance person because I have I have time, but I don't. I would prefer not to look into that stuff. But she's big on like budgets. We have budgets for this, budgets for that, way more than I am.
Yeah.
And so let's just do a practical budget for, let's say, what's minimum wage right now?
23.
23.
23.
23.
Is that not
Right.
living? That's living wage.
Oh, is it?
Is that living wage or minimum
I
wage?
thought that's minimum.
Minimum, I think
Or
living
20.
is
Oh.
25 or something.
25. Oh, yeah.
So,
So let's
can
say
I just
what?
show my
What's
age
that?
by saying that when I came into the workforce,
Yeah.
the minimum wage I
12.
think was like 12 or 13.
Oh, it's $12. Yeah.
Gee, Willikers, Batman.
Yeah. But
What-
then again, because of
Yeah.
inflation,
Mm.
hey, how much have we actually caught up?
Can I just quickly say, I think especially myself, I'm quite
Yeah.
blessed, right? To have a work car, to own our own home. So I know, like when I say I feel the pinch, it might not be the same as somebody else
Hard out.
Yeah.
out there that's really feeling it. So I can definitely say that I am blessed in that sense, and it's not taking away from like what other people are feeling and going through right now too.
Yeah.
Because I know me feeling a pinch could be very different for somebody else, and I just wanted to just say that because like I don't want to sound like
Well,
I'm privileged, like because I am I'm very fortunate
no, hard
with
out.
the
But
situation
it's
that I'm in.
relative. It's
Yeah.
right.
Relative, eh?
So you got to think of it like, yeah, okay, the cost of living is this and inflation's set at this now, but you got to think about how many incomes do you have in your household,
Yeah.
how
And
many
that's different for
dependents
others,
do you
eh?
have?
Yep.
Yeah.
Some people have kids, their elderly parents living with them. So hard out. Like it is relative, and I appreciate that it's different for everyone.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Someone's
that-
probably listening to
yeah.
this like,
Bro, you
never heard of
guys-
that.
Yeah.
There'll
Inflation.
be
Yeah.
there'll be people who aren't affected at all by
Right.
cost
Yep.
of living,
Hold up.
and there'll be people who are quite on the opposite side where it's like it's taken a huge
Well,
toll on
That's
them.
that's sort of me at the moment. Like, I'm not feeling
Hey.
the full. No,
Money man.
I'm not feeling the full
Yeah.
brunt of inflation at the moment, like
Mm.
personally. But I know, like, I'm wary that in a few years' time, like, I'm gonna settle down with my partner, get married, and
Then
want to
you'll-
own our own home, and then I'm obviously gonna take my old man with me. I'm gonna feel the beautiful struggle that you
Yeah.
said. So, like,
That's it, man.
right now, I'm enjoying it.
Enjoy.
I'm not
Yeah.
saving at the same time, but I
Yeah,
should
that's
be.
it,
Right, you
But
gotta
yeah,
save,
I know.
man,
I should be
because-
upping my percent, like my
Kiwi
my Kiwi
saver?
saver. Yeah,
Because
ASAP.
we're looking like you're probably a few years behind like where I'm currently at with my wife.
Yeah.
Mm.
We're in kind of the same seat maybe 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Right.
But even trying to get into the housing market has been like tough.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's tough. Like trying to get your first home isn't easy. Like and Jeff can attest to that too.
Right.
Like, your families had to really look at this and
Yep.
make that commitment. So imagine young couples
Mm.
trying to get into that, or just families in general trying to
Yeah.
get into the housing market.
It almost seems impossible.
Yep.
Like if you think about things and the way we're the trajectory in which we're going and the cost of living, if it continues to rise. Like some families are, man, like thinking of home ownership was like,
Yeah,
wait,
that's so far-fetched.
that's so far behind anything. They're like some kids at school, like some like eating every day. Like you gotta make like these kids are actually they need food and stuff. So thinking about buying a house is so far fetched.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we also like we're in a quite of a privileged position, if you think about it,
Right.
in the greater scheme of things. And so,
I read on the Herald
yeah,
that 29 mil in KiwiSaver was taken out for financial hardship just in March alone. So like a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
So
That's
like, it's
that's a lot
definitely
of-
That's a telling sign,
Yeah.
of the times that we're in. And like we talk about ownership, home ownership, and how far-fetched that idea may be for some families. But it's some families struggle to put bread and milk on the table.
yeah.
You know.
I don't
So
need bread,
it's-
too many carbs.
But you
you're
know,
on
it's
to
like-
croissants.
But that brings back the point that
And
it's all
bagels.
relative to
Yeah.
each family, and like,
yeah,
and we are not. Yeah, we don't speak from a place of like we don't know
yeah,
what
that's
that's
it.
like.
We don't like, and we don't speak from a place of like, yeah, we've got it sorted,
Mm.
because we
Yeah,
in
for
no
sure.
way have we.
Well, that's
like,
why
got
it's good that
sorted.
you
Yeah.
brought up the budgeting, because the question is, where do your guys' priorities lie in your budget fortnightly?
And then
So-
some of the stuff we can look at, because
Should we touch on that?
yeah, let's see. Where are your priorities?
and
wanna
be
see the
honest.
budget.
I want to see
wanna-
the breakdown of this budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to like your honesty, like not what you think you should be spending, what you're actually doing right now. Like, where's this? What are we spending our money on?
Yeah. So I think like I'll go first then.
And, sorry, and if we're at $23.15 for minimum wage,
Yeah.
okay, and then let's just say we work 30 or 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
We're looking at $926 before tax.
Yeah.
After tax, probably looking at
650?
let's just say 650. We'll round up 650 take home pay a week.
Yeah. So I mean, like the first thing that happens when my paycheck comes in, my tithing, like it's my go-to. Once that's done,
Can you just explain to everyone what tithing is for those who
so
may
Aaron,
not know what
no,
that
tithing.
Stop right now.
I haven't heard your name being loud lately.
So long as it's not forced.
No, but actually, the thing is like when I say like, what are your priorities? If I look at the things that automatically get taken out,
Yeah.
in my opinion, those are your priorities.
Yeah.
You know, you can say, I prioritize budgeting and things. But if budgeting is like a thing that I go, oh, I got some money left over, I'll chuck that in the savings account.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
versus like your phone's going out, your phone plan's going out, your gym or your subscriptions. Like, I was looking at this just like last week. I'm like, why do we have a
Why did
Disney
you laugh at
Plus?
subscriptions?
Why do we have a Disney Plus?
A neon.
Two
And
Netflix, two
Netflix.
Netflix. Like we have access to two different Netflix accounts.
Yeah.
This is in my head. My gym membership. I haven't seen that gym since.
Yeah, right.
You know, I can't even remember the last thing I watched on Netflix. Oh shit! No, Shogun was probably the latest thing on
Yeah.
Disney.
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. You know, some other random subscriptions that I have for like creative stuff. So we, you know, platforms that we use. Mina knows this as well.
Switcher.
The switcher that runs this podcast. My wife's like, what's this? So those are obviously the priorities.
Priorities,
Right.
And I feel like the saving is just like depends on the week. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Depends
Is it-
on
what
the
do I
week.
got
So
coming
if
up
you
this
have a
week?
file of a loving come up, you're
Right.
like,
if it's a birthday, if it's if
Right.
something's coming up, that's your priority. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saving this week, but I know that like we need to be. I know we say it all the time. It's like I need to be better at saying no,
Mm.
even if it's a small amount. Even if it's a small amount, like
Right.
this is a non-negotiable for us.
Yeah.
And we got to put this
We
away.
gotta actually fork out money for a day. So so what would you say from if we look at 650? How much is going towards? Let's say we have. What are the kind of the non-negotiables in our budget? So rent,
Rent,
Yeah.
board, or your
Rent has-
mortgage payment.
rent, mortgage, board, whatever.
Mortgage
How
board.
much? mortgage, board, whatever rent, whatever your situation is. How much do you think taken out, bro. And then you realize some people are like 400,
Yep.
and then you're left with 250.
Yeah.
But
Some people, depending on your
that's
situation,
tough,
That's
man.
like, look at how hard that is. Hey, I saw that lady on TikTok. You see, her? She's like talking about how do you like after all their payments gone out, she's left with something like $60, and she's not like, okay, I get it if you're on if you know you're full on hard times, but like this is a mom who's doing working two jobs,
right.
yeah.
you know, low income, well, probably earning minimum wage. Hey, and left with like $60, between $60 and $100 to spend on, you know, yourself and
Yeah.
that, you know, the things that that's tough.
Then you realize staying at home when you're single
Oh,
is so underrated.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
staying
Not
at
paying.
home with your parents, or not even a parent, with your siblings, like communal homes, collective living
Yeah.
is so underrated.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's what they're pushing now, though. Like
Yeah,
mortgage
yeah.
brokers and stuff. They're like,
yeah,
go get a home with your family.
family, yeah.
Go with your
All
siblings and your
siblings.
parents.
I
Like,
can say it's definitely more affordable doing it. that
Yeah.
way. But to those who are not afforded that, to like, you know, the single mom
Single
with
Yeah.
two
with
kids, minimum wage, $650 that's nothing, eh?
That's nothing.
That's nothing if
that would be a bloody treasure trove if I was a student.
yeah.
Yeah,
Back then when I was getting one,
when you
was
had
a
nothing.
you
Well,
get
how much was
$150?
living cost?
That
was
was at uni, 150
$150. 150 a week was living cost that you all have to pay back now. But bro, that was felt like
Well, yeah,
heavy.
even that, bro. Student loans.
Student.
all
So
that
say,
stuff.
well, if you had a student loan after your rent, you're left with.
Dogs.
Okay, so yeah, I think we've established that it's hard. It's
Yep.
difficult.
Yeah.
I think what would be beneficial is like, okay, so then what do we
do?
do about it then? And I said before, like time is fleeting. Like it's always going, and you don't have enough of it. So
Yeah.
the solution can't be to get more jobs, right?
Right.
Yep.
So it's like we're in.
What's got to go?
Yeah, what's got to go?
And I always hear people like on TikTok, Instagram saying you should upskill as well. And upskilling is also not always the solution neither. For
And
a
you
lot
know,
of
it's
people.
funny. Upskilling costs money.
Exactly. So like to those that can upskill, that's
Do so,
amazing
eh?
for them.
Mm.
But to those who can't, you know, like people will hear that and be like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not in the financial position to upskill, nor do I have the time to upskill because I've got a family to look after, I've got kids to feed, you know, stuff like that. So it's like what you were saying before, Chris. It's about prioritizing what's important. Like, do you really think you need that Netflix account if
Yep.
you're struggling to put food on the table?
Mm.
You know, it's just making hard decisions, hard calls like that.
Yeah, but it's
And
not even like, you know, again, is that a hard core as well?
Yeah.
It's like, do you really need that? Sorry, this is not directed at my wife, but do you really need that? You really need that, babe? No. But, you know, again, looking at having a honest conversation about what is it that we actually need,
Yep.
you know, versus what are the things that we just like to enjoy, like those.
And sorry to call out the people sponsoring gyms. If you haven't been to the gym within the last month, cancel your gym membership.
Can you say
That's
3 months?
me.
Can you say 3 months, please?
Because that's
Yeah.
what, like, that's, you know, $12 to $15 a week.
This is coming from someone who gets free gym,
Yeah, free gym
Okay,
membership.
yeah,
You
look,
get a free gym
Yeah, I will
membership.
preface this by
Like,
saying that I do get a free
how long
gym
did you
membership.
pay to City Fitness before that?
But I know so many people sponsor the gym.
Mm.
If you could save $40 a month, that's, you know, that's
something. eh?
bread and milk, you know. So it's just like, yeah, what we were saying, making those hard calls on some of the stuff that you actually don't need, and like saving some money where you can.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and look, like not everyone has not everyone's in a situation to work an extra job, but
Mhm.
if you can, you know, do so. Right? Extra
And-
income never hurts.
And you see, extra income. You see how and it explains why so many people have to get second jobs and and like weekend work. Well, that's crazy. $650 is not a lot of money.
No.
Okay, then you have rent. What else? If you have a car payment, you need transport thing that week. You need grocery shopping, and then you're probably shopping with $10.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
tough,
this,
man.
yeah,
It's
it's
tough
tough if a minimum wage. But I think the biggest thing I got from that is our use what we have as a strength, Our collective living. Hey, collective living is so underrated.
Yeah.
Not just if you're looking at home ownership, but like from the day to day or the week to week. Hey, we're fortunate that we have big families, some family, not necessarily a nuclear family, but
And not every family is made for this.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah,
not
that's
every-
true.
yeah, some
Not every
families
family's
probably
made for
can't
that.
stand.
Yeah, can't stand
Can't
each other.
stand being-
get
yeah,
that, I
but-
get it.
If you're fortunate enough, count your blessings, that you have
Yep.
family that you live with and kind of sharing the struggle.
I like that.
Another practical solution. There's that new supermarket out south where they do it by a point system.
Yeah.
Have you
right.
seen that?
What's that?
Oh, they just opened up a supermarket where I think you earn a certain amount of points depending on your struggle.
Oh,
You get like say 50 points, and that gets you like a trolley full.
what's
Or
that
like
called?
80 points. Oh, I forgot what it's called. But
Or chuck it in
That's-
the
yeah,
description.
yeah.
That's
Let it
cool.
know.
That's
Well,
such a
People
good
check
idea.
that out.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
such a cool. Now see, that's helping the community, and that's really.
But there's also like a lot of like food parcels and stuff. So
It's the pride thing, It's
Pride.
the actually going to
I'd
ask for
help.
food parcels.
I think like listening to what everyone's saying, like a strong theme coming back is like our priorities, right from what we had to let go through to our current financial situations. It's like we really got to look at what's important,
Right.
and that's where we put our time, how you spend it, your money, obviously,
yeah.
and your finances and your budgeting, and make your priorities your priorities. Hey, I think that's a good
And it's different for everyone.
good takeaway. Yeah, and that's the cool thing is that we don't all have the same priorities.
Yep.
We're all in different seasons and all in different walks of life, and so make your priorities your priorities.
And there's
Do
no
the right thing.
and there's no
Be a good man.
shortcuts.
be wise.
Your
Yeah.
quick money schemes never work.
Never work.
Whether it's pushing up a few bags on the side or
That's
Or,
another topic
looking
for
at-
another day.
pyramid schemes.
All right,
That's a topic
fellas.
for another day.
Subscribe to.
Hey, listen, I could sit here all day and talk to you guys.
Just delete yourself.
Just delete your subscriptions, Thank you, boys. Another one in the bag. Always a pleasure. Never a chore.
Where
Might
can
as
you
well
find
on
us?
the ones
Aaron?
and
Where can you
twos.
find us?
Tell us, Mina.
YouTube, Spotify's cancelled. Couldn't pay that subscription. so-
You know why? Because priorities were
Because
priorities. That's why.
matter.
Yeah.
Because no one
Priorities
transferred the money.
matter.
Can you guys prioritize our switch up? Because I'm sick of paying for it.
And YouTube Premium. Yeah.
Another one in the bag, boys.